Hi, it's Michelle Bursell, psychotherapist and co-creator of the Feel process. And you're going to see me today how I work through envy. And so I'm new to doing this. You're going to see me in process. Um, and I'm just going to kind of share with you what comes up and work through the feel process as I do it. Now, I'm going to be doing it mostly in my head. If I have to stop and write something down, I'll do that. Um, but I can do this a lot in my head, especially when an emotion isn't really strong, because I've been working on this so much. But I'm going to share with you out loud what I'm going through. So today is about envy. And the first thing that I notice and kind of laugh at is that I use the word envy rather than jealousy. I think it's difficult for me to admit that jealousy still exists, that I still get jealous. It seems like such a ugly and icky feeling to have. And so that's my ego shaming me for feeling jealous, feeling envious. And the dialogue along with that is, I should be a more spiritual person. I should be more gracious. And so as I hear these, I'm kind of like, yeah. I've heard that before. And so I know that's the ego trying to bring me shame. And I'm fortunate that I've ingrained the feel process in me well enough that I know the upside. I know what this is really about, and it's leading me right now to gain more of my true self, gain more empowerment. So here's the thing. Right now, the situation is I had a friend, a dear friend of mine. She hosted her first event, and seriously, I couldn't be more thrilled for her. I just look at her with so much pride, and I'm just so happy for her that she went for it and created that and did this. So 90% of me is over the moon happy for her. And then there's this 10% that when I sit with myself, when I sit within my heart, I know there's envy and jealousy there. Now, this is what's really important for those of you who are on a path to emotional mastery, feminine emotional mastery, which is what I teach in my book, Feel. It's really easy to ignore 10% of a negative feeling when 90% is positive. It would be so much easier for me to brush this aside. But the reason why I don't is because I understand through the process of feel that the negative feeling coming through is a gift. It's there to help me grab on to a little bit more of my gifts, of my truth, of my most fulfilled self. So, and I know that if you're a person who feels emotional pain quite often, you're going to be hesitant to grab for that 10%. And that's okay. Honor where you're at. If you're in a lot of emotional pain, go for those emotions that most stir you up and really work on them. And if jealousy is one of them, this video will help you. And again, for those of you who are mostly feeling vibrant, use this. Even if you don't have jealousy stirred up, use this as an example of why it's worth it to you to go to that 10%, even when it's just a slight stirring. Okay, so I've got this jealousy, and my ego is saying, I wish I could have what she has. I wish I could do that. I wish I had the courage. I wish, and now that I'm sinking in deeper to my heart, the pain of it is that I wish I could inspire as she's inspired others to come together in person. And my fear is that I've done a lot of online work, but could I gather people together in person? Can I be that inspirational to make people get on a plane and learn about this process? And there's pain there. I feel that in my heart, like there's some sadness there. So I take a breath with that, recognize it, honor it for the wisdom that it's teaching me. And from knowing the feel process, I know, maybe I shouldn't know this so offhand, but I know the meaning of jealousy. I can remember the last time I felt jealous. It was a few months ago. And so the meaning of jealousy is to let us know that what we're seeing in another, we have within ourselves, and it just hasn't been claimed yet. And so what my empowered self, what my higher self is telling me is a few things. I do have the courage to do this, to do something live. I think for me it may be, I'm craving, the sadness is there is that I'm craving bringing people together. I think I'm missing my community actually, and I love having this online connection, but I really long to bring us together, to bring like-minded people together, and that does stir up sadness, wanting us to do this together and know each other in a physical realm. So that's very real to me, and I'm very grateful right now for this feeling of jealousy that would seem to have nothing good to bring when understood from the ego is really telling me my longing to be in deeper connection with those of you who really get this and want to implement this in your life. So I'm kind of blown away right now that that's what I'm getting. There's another piece. It's about the inspiration. Fears I won't be inspiring. And I get that what I'm being called to do is, get outside my comfort zone. So a part of this is doing this, I believe, right now, is sharing myself more vulnerably. And that because vulnerability allows us to connect, we can also inspire each other through this process. So that's it. I mean, whew, I feel excited right now. Even though it was really difficult for me to admit the shame. You're not seeing a full-blown out version of being in a jealous tirade, because that's not the energy that I'm feeling. If my energy was 90% or 100 or 110% jealousy, there would be more emotional fuel. It's really calmer right now. Because it's just a slight amount, but this is why we want to pick up on this. And I just, honestly, I feel grateful. I feel grateful for this emotion that came through, that our fear, that our ego would shame us for, would say this is bad and wrong about us, so that you can understand more of you. Whenever you feel jealous, it's about more of you're seeing within another what's really within you, and they're modeling that for you. And so your jealousy from ego is coming from a place of lack. I don't have that. And what your empowered self is trying to help you see that you do have that, as well as the inner yearning, the inner need that's there, and why this is important to you. So I hope this serves you. I hope that you can look at your jealousy through more loving eyes. And I hope that this encourages you to go to those 10% times when there's a slight negative feeling there, and that know that there is deeper feeling. And I look forward to continuing to share this with you, whether my negative feeling is 10% or 100%. And I would love to hear your feedback. Does this serve you? Does this support you? How else can I share with you this process? Thank you so much.